With the 62nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears selected Shemar Turner, defensive tackle out of Texas A&M. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears draft reaction video. This was another pick that was due to the trade that we made in the second round with pick number 41. We traded back with the Buffalo Bills. We moved up 10 spots from 72 to 62 to get this to be a second round pick instead of a third round pick. And I will never complain about adding more talent to the trenches, okay? The trenches were a position of, big, investment in the offseason, in the free agency period, but now the Bears are investing more in the NFL draft with the last pick, Ozzie Trapilo, offensive tackle, and now Shemar Turner, defensive tackle. This was about where Turner was being mocked in most mock drafts, so pretty good value that Ryan Poles got, a pretty fair value, I would say, and his comp, according to Lance Zierlein, is Nnamdi Madubuike of the Baltimore Ravens. So if he lives up to that Madubuike comp, I mean, this could be a big time pick by Ryan Poles. And there's a lot to like in this dude. Okay, he has a very high ceiling, I would say. The floor also is a little bit low just because, he's been a little bit hit or miss sometimes. So he's definitely going to have to be more consistent at the NFL level. Also keep his temper under control because he had some flare-ups at Texas A&M in which he cost his team with penalty yardage by, some dumb mistakes. So definitely going to have to be coached up, but he has tremendous raw power and just the ability to rush the passes from the interior and also be, a pretty good run defender too if he does live up to his potential. And I truly do like the Bears are still adding more to the inside of the defensive line, even though they went out there and got Grady Jarrett. Okay, they paid Grady Jarrett a lot of money, and now they have Turner, as well as already having Gervon Dexter and Andrew Billings. So if you compare the DT spot to last year, it's just tremendously upgraded with both Grady Jarrett and Shemar Turner. Now you don't have to rely on Zach Pickens for anything because Zach Pickens is looking like an absolute bust of a pick by Ryan Poles. That was a swing and a miss in the third round. Pickens has been so bad over the past couple seasons. So now at this point, you could even cut Pickens if you want to. I think he's still going to be on the roster. But with Turner, coming in here, he could be hopefully the long-term solution at DT next to Gervon Dexter. That would be a pretty nasty 1-2 punch for many, many years to come, hopefully, in Chicago Bears uniforms. And I just really like, again, how much we're upgrading the inside of the D-line. Because last year, the Bears got absolutely destroyed on defense when Andrew Billings went down with that injury. We had nobody else to replace him, like very little depth. And now we have a rotation of 4 guys that could rotate in and out every other play. Like they're going to keep guys fresh. It's going to keep guys healthy, and it's going to keep opposing offensive lines on their toes because they're going to have to go up against a rested and fresh player. And all these guys on the inside, they play with such passion, like Gervon Dexter, really electric with the energy. Andrew Billings is out there, hooting and hollering and just like always playing at his full 100% effort. Grady Jarrett is that type of guy too. He's a leader in the locker room. And then Shemar Turner also just plays at 100% energy at all times, which again, sometimes gets him in trouble doing a little bit too much after the snap is over. But regardless, I think this is a very exciting pick if you are a Chicago Bears fan. Let's talk more about what he's going to be bringing to the Chicago Bears. So Shemar Turner is 6'3", weighs 290 pounds, a little bit on the lighter side. Maybe could gain a little bit of weight because right now he's kind of a tweener at the next level. Maybe he could play a little bit outside, but probably going to be an interior defensive tackle. And didn't test in the 40-yard dash or any agility or explosion testing, but on tape you can tell this dude has top end level athleticism. The reason why he didn't test was because of injury, but it does seem like he's fully healthy, or he's going to be fully healthy. Before the NFL season starts, he was dealing with a stress fracture. But looking at his production, guys, pretty good in 2023. So 2023 was when he kind of broke out. He had 6 sacks. He had 11 tackles for loss, 33 combined tackles. And then last year, a little bit of a step back in terms of sack production, 2 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, 36 combined tackles. But the pressure percentage was pretty good. He was generating pressures. It was just, other guys sometimes finishing the sacks off. And at defensive tackle, you're usually not going to get a whole lot of sacks anyway. So the fact that he got 6 in 2023 was a pretty fantastic stat line for him. And if you look at what scouts say about him, there's a lot to love. He has a very quick first step, very explosive punch, relentless level of aggression. I mean, he plays at a full 100% energy at all times. He's very good as a penetrator. Gets off the snap super quick, has the ability to play all over the line because of his tweener height and his weight, you know. In terms of like weaknesses, definitely with the penalties, a little bit too much. He has to control his anger, and against the run, you know, sometimes he could use a little bit better, you know, patience against the run. But he has such a tremendously high ceiling with his athletic gifts and his physical frame. This could be a dude that, as I mentioned earlier, could produce 6, 7, 8 sacks per year and be one of the premier interior pass rushers at the defensive tackle spot. He does have that ability. The reason why he's falling was because, you know, last year the production was not as good, and he also dealt with the injury in the offseason, which caused him to not test. I feel like if he did test, he would have shot up draft boards. He would have tested really well and maybe gone at the beginning of round 2, not the end of round 2. So overall, just so much to like in this guy, and I'm never going to complain about adding more talent to the trenches. You can never have enough with injuries, with guys using rotations. I mean, if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they used rotations on the D-line, keeping guys fresh, and this is why they won the Super Bowl last year. So I'm glad the Chicago Bears added more talent at the defensive tackle spot. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this pick down below in the comments. Was edge a bigger need? Probably, but you also don't want to reach. Okay, if the Bears did not have an edge ranked highly at that spot, you don't want to reach for edge just because you have a need there. Maybe they like Dayo Odeyingbo a lot. They clearly do. They paid him so much money. So like Dayo Odeyingbo is going to be the starter this year, maybe for the next couple years. And they still got Austin Booker from last year who they want to develop. I still feel like we need one more edge to complete this edge rusher room. You already got Montez Sweat. Maybe we need one more edge to truly, for me to truly feel good about the room. But, you know, not drafting edge in round 1 or round 2 shows me they trust Dayo and Montez Sweat to be the starters, and maybe have more hope in Austin Booker even, because he was a pretty high ceiling guy that last year was, you know, it was only his rookie year. Even Austin Booker could emerge and hopefully be pretty solid rotational defensive end. But it's just exciting stuff right now what the Chicago Bears are building. They've had a really good draft, in my opinion, in both, you know, rounds 1, rounds 2, and didn't have any round 3 picks. But yeah, both day 1 and day 2 have been pretty fantastic in terms of just selecting best player available. Did we go after big needs? Not exactly, again, because I feel like running back was a pretty big need. Safety was another need. So not exactly addressing needs only, but in the NFL draft, you should always be going after best player available. And with what the Chicago Bears did in free agency, it enabled them to go best player available in this draft because they already filled in key spots on the offensive line and on the defensive line. So yeah, pretty happy about this pick. Day 3 is tomorrow. The Bears have a round 4 pick that they got from the trade. They also have a round 5 pick and also a round 7 pick, I believe. So we'll be back with more videos tomorrow. Leave your comments down below. As always, guys, bear down.